Hey, how's it going? This is your daily sweet talk for March 21st, 2026. What did the molecule's mother say to him every morning? Up and atom. Whose catchphrase is that? Up and atom. Oh, Radioactive Man, right? Simpsons? Um, I want to talk about Marvel's use of portals. The most infamous being, of course, the portals scene from Avengers Endgame, which, that's probably one of the most spoiled movies of all time, but nevertheless, I'm going to avoid spoilers talking about this. Um, but obviously, most people know the scene is all these characters coming out of the portals. Um, and I think if you compare that to like the first, I feel like the earliest use of portals in a Marvel movie it would be Thor: The Dark World, and I actually really that's like one of the lesser Marvel films. I think people think. Certainly at the time, I think looking back, people probably don't hate it as much because now we have stuff like Captain America: Brave New World, things like that. But at the time, it was people did not like that movie. What I liked about it was the portals scene. The way they used portals to just like go from one location to the next, it made for a very interesting final fight scene. I thought. I haven't watched it since around when it came out, so maybe if I went back, I wouldn't. I'd be like, I would feel differently. But part of that is also that they've watered down the use of portals so much. Primarily in that famous scene from Avengers Endgame. I think it's literally called Portals. The scene. I don't know if it. I haven't seen the scene selection. If they call it that in like unlike the DVD, they even have a DVD. They must. But that's what the song is in the score on Spotify or music streaming CBD whatever. It's called Portals, and it's just the Avengers theme or whatever. Dun 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 dun. Um, and that's an iconic scene. I'm not gonna take that away, but I feel like um, what is iconic about it is it's just so fan servicey. And I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed when they did the exact same thing in Spider-Man: Far From No Way Home. Spider-Man: No Way Home. They did the exact same thing, basically, just with less characters that had more of an impact. Um, and I enjoyed it both times, but it is just like, whoa, these characters are here. Rather than like introducing them in interesting ways, it's just like, boom, here they are. And it's a very lazy use of portals, I think, as opposed to, I think even, the first Doctor Strange movie used portals in a really interesting way. I think there was even a fight scene in No Way Home that had Doctor Strange using portals in an interesting way. That character uses portals in an interesting way. Um, I'm trying to think of how they used them in like Infinity War, and I feel like it was just like taking characters from one location to the other right away, which is just feels like the laziest way to do it. I mean, I know it's convenient to have just characters go from one place to the other like that, um, but it's not really interesting. It can be a useful writing tool, and I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. Um, but in terms of just having characters show up, it's like, oh, they're here now. And when you see other things like just basically do the Marvel Portal scene, I saw of like a Fortnite video recently where they basically did the same thing, except it was like characters from all these like pop culture things that they've tied into Fortnite. Like, oh, Bugs Bunny shows up, Iron Man shows up, Fred Flintstone shows up. They probably did the same scene. They basically did the same scene in like Space Jam: A New Legacy, just without portals. And basically, what I'm saying is, they've really neutered the use of portals, and they should find new ways to have characters appear on screen that are more interesting.